Welcome. If you're new here, this is a 60-foot or 19 metre mast actually. It's built from 2 steel poles and 1 alloy pole on top. The geometry is extremely accurate, which means we can use a winch to safely raise and lower it. And around the outside of the mast we've got 4 verticals, and that is a 40 metre foursquare, very accurately placed at 7.38 metres radius, and that's a directional antenna. Up at the top of this tower we originally had a 2-element Yagi for 20 metres, and we're now upgrading things slightly. So the plan is to run a 3-element for 10 metres at the top, and the jury's out, 2 or 3 elements for 20 underneath it. Now, a story for you. When I first put this up, there was a storm brewing that night. By the following morning, the whole thing was on the ground, right? Naturally, there was a lot of theories. Too many guys, not enough guys, guy angle too steep, rope stretch and everything else. But it turns out every single theory was wrong. When I started cutting the old ropes away, when it was all in a mess, because we had the falling derrick here and ropes everywhere, I cut 3 ropes. But it turns out only 2 of them were guy lines. The 3rd one was the falling derrick. We know that because we later had to repair this falling derrick line, which didn't frankly make much sense at the time until Martin spotted something on the ground. It was a shackle pin, and then it all clicked. One of the shackles hadn't failed. I had simply forgotten to do up the top pin properly. It was probably held on by, I don't know, half a thread or something. In the rush to get this monster up, I missed it. And I even said on the original video that I thought it was going to be either a rope or a shackle. I reckon the rope broke. Okay, if it wasn't the rope, it means one of my shackles wasn't done up properly. So for all the YouTube engineers out there, this one was very simple. Check your own work. That was just the trigger. One guy effectively wasn't doing anything at all, but that's not the whole story. Even with one guy gone, the reason the whole thing ended up on the floor still comes down to geometry and rope behaviour. So yes, we've upgraded the rope. Actually, this is 8mm rope now, on a temporary basis. We will be moving to Dyneema eventually, in the summer sometime. It's as strong as steel, but non-conductive, so it doesn't interfere with RF. And the top guys, when this thing is up, it's about 64 degrees, and yes, that's far too steep for a traditional guying mast, but don't look at it like that. The real structure is the steel tower, steel mast if you like, the first 2 steel poles. These are doing all the serious work. They're capable of handling well over 1,000 kilos downward pressure, and once tensioned up properly, I expect almost no movement there. Think of that, up to this point here, the actual mast, because the alloy pole on top is different. That's really part of the antenna. It's lighter, more flexible, and it carries the Yagis. So the top guys are not there to keep things under control and make it locked off and rigid. They're there to stop it wandering about. They should be taught, but not banjo tight. So yes, 64 degrees is too steep for a structural guy, but perfectly acceptable for an antenna support, and that's a different way of looking at it. Because we're stuck. The guy radius is 7.38 metres out to the foursquare. And this whole design's evolved over time. It was never originally intended to be a 3-section mast, just 2. So we've had to adapt as we've gone. All right, the whole rebuild's taken about 5 hours so far. We are kind of back up again. I've just got some work to do at the base of the mast here. And today's job, we'll cut these slots and make sure we can get the coax up the tube. Because ultimately, this mast does quite a lot. It will eventually be 160 metre vertical. At exactly the same time, it could be a 40 metre foursquare, and it could be running 20 and 10. With 2 or 3 stations all at once, with bandpass filterings and everything. 15 metres is going over here. that is another smaller tower, 2 sections, and after that we're only missing 17 and 12 because we are converting the main DX Commander into a monobander, a caged vertical for 80 meters, and we're going to face it. We're going to put a parallel, another one up about 20 meters over there, and then VHF, UHF. We'll put a little mast here, I think. Well, we're back up. What's the time now? We started about 11. It's 2.5 hours. Plus about 4 or 5. Yeah, about 6.5 hours. We're back up running. Fantastic. So, just a reminder, okay? It turns out it was nothing but my fault. It was a loose shackle. So all your other theories, including mine, out the window, all right? That 64-degree back guy, yeah, it's a bit tight. Not worried about it because the main guys are the first two. The top one's just like a stability guy to stop the argument moving around too much. And of course, the next couple of weeks, we'll change this to Dyneema. It'll be rock solid, absolutely fine. So good. Okay, so it's kind of day 2 of the rebuild. I mean, I could get it all up and running, but previously we've had a little slot at the bottom of the first scaffold pole to put the coax up. And since that scaffold pole is now scrap, we'll have to redo it here. I just thought I should have brought my punch out. Never mind. Because we've got to find a centre hole using this, which is going to be crap. Oh, I've done it. We got told that the whole thing would fall down because of this slot. For those of you interested, if you weighed all this, because I've done it, I've literally weighed, well, in paper, I've weighed it all. 2 scaffold poles, aluminium pole, the 3 Yaesu 065 thrust bearings. That comes to about 71 kilos. So, and we're using, this is a GS 2800. Now, the regular spec, the day-to-day spec of that is 200 kilos. So you could peek over it like in a storm or something. So if once the guys are tensioned up, we've worked out the downward pull on this rotator should be about between 150 and 180 kilos. And if it blows more than 50 miles an hour, there'll be peaks up to 220 from the top guys actually. I'm just curious, we've got a snake inside. I'm just interested, could we, oh no, you'll never guess. I've made this too small for the PL259. Right, I'm just wondering if we can use this coax as its own snake. I mean, it might not work. We've got a snake in the office, the fiberglass thing, but I'm just going to shove this up, just see if I can get it up. That would be quite funny. I've just had a terrible thought. That maybe that top scaffold pole's full of earth. All right, let's get the snake and clear it. So it got stuck about here. There. What have I done? No. Oh. Whoops, we're spinning out of control. One of the new poles has got something stuck in the middle of it. Drat, I should have blooming checked.
Start working.
Dave's come around, we're doing a pit stop. We've just dropped the 2 poles off. We found one good pole. We're matching exactly the thrust bearing to where the old one was, and we should be able to just sort of get it back on nice and easy. So we'll carry on chatting, getting on with our world, and I'll see you later. Right, gun is down at the base. So the bottom line is I could have actually undone all the knots and taken it all down myself, but it'll just take me bloody forever. With the help of Dave, you see, we can just take the pressure off the guys, drop the shackles off and get the pole changed over. It's a bit lighter, this one, isn't it? Right, you're in charge. There. Do you want to get the top guy, which is probably the one on the... It'll be that one over there. This one? Yeah. And just put it on any of these, whatever's easiest. All right. Yep. Okay. We now do that. Oh, hang on, I'm wibbly wobbling. Better put the sides on. Couldn't do this with Dyneema. So when I was falling to sleep last night, I thought, what's to stop somebody sitting on this bit here, right, and I'll raise the tower up. I actually tried to imagine what it might feel like. I don't think it's designed for 100 kilos at the top. Well, bugger me, how long's that taken?
50 minutes.
Fantastic. Yeah, 50 minutes, yeah. For a middle pole change.
Yeah.
Is there a Formula One for tower building?
Yeah.
I'll get out of the way. I'm going to finish that anyway. All right, so down again. Jesus. Best thing I ever bought was that bloody winch, you know. There. And then I'll put the tower down a bit. Dave, Wendy.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Okay, there's the problem. I can never get this straight. It's that way at the moment. So that side needs to go that way. What I've done in the past is just push it like one way out. Oh, wrong way, isn't it? This one wants to go this way, doesn't it?
That's a notch. Yeah, that's a tiny bit of rotation.
All right, let's fire the thing up then. Have a look. Here. Well, we're actually done, I think. Wendy, when you're ready, I want you over here. All right. Oh, look at that very top there, look. We're only just clearing that. The choke on the top of that's pathetic. So, yeah, I'm facing that way, yeah, good. I didn't have any ferrites when I built that. And I've since worked out 2 FT240 43s and 5 turns of coax is even better than my shitty RG58. Now for a laugh, we can't connect it because I don't have enough. I've got to salvage some coax. We've got a little 10 metre 3 element. I could just put it up there from an engineering perspective. I've got to. So the moral of this story is you need to check your work, because it wasn't rope stretch, it wasn't too many guys, not enough guys, the poles weren't strong enough. It was the fact that there was probably half a thread left on a shackle. I hadn't checked it and it fell down. There we are. Anyway, we've upgraded the rope from 6mm to 8mm. I've had a few friends to help me, Martin, M7COV. The other day we've had Dave. Dave, what's your call sign?
Mike 0 November Oscar Oscar.
That's right. M0 New NOO. He's been here today, and we got it all back up. And we put the 10 metre beam on as well. Why 10, not 15? Because 20 and 15 don't play so well together, but 10 and 20 do. I didn't know that until I did all the modelling. But I'm now short of coax, so we need to get some coax up the tower so we can have 10 and 20. And there we are. All right, so jolly good fun. It's all ended up better than it was. We've still got the Dyneema rope to sort out one day. Not done that yet. But if you tune into a couple of live streams, we'll test all this out. You should be able to hear me bloody anywhere in the world, I would have thought. I can't wait to try out 10 metres at, what the height is that? Must be 17 metres high. So about 1.75 wavelengths off the ground on 10 metres, I think is pretty good. All right, so in the meantime, enjoy your radio, have a lot of fun. Be inspired, all right? Do something different, and I'll see you next time, all right? Bye for now.